So today's video, I was thinking about going beyond the gold star. It seems in today's society we need reward programs for everything, or a reward program to push you to go further. And I would I would like to just have your own inner reward program with everything you do. I mean, a lot of times, like, country has a lot of jobs and a lot of things that you have to do. And it seems like a lot of places that I've been part of, there's quite a workload. So you have to push yourself and create your own little reward systems. Um, what I what I do is I create goals in my mind, little goals, and that's when I was speaking of the journal the other day and writing your dreams down. It's good to break everything down into little goals, and big goals. So if you have a big dream, you break it up into increments so that you can reach them and make yourself feel like you're getting there. And I guess you could treat yourself to something. But I don't know. The world kind of bothers me because it's almost like, there's sayings about dogs. It's like, work hard as a dog, and there's the dirty dogs. And then, it's bad enough we're gotta give a dog a bone. We're chasing bones. And, my cat last winter, he got addicted to Temptations, which is little cat treats. And then he started expecting them all the time. Like his behavior changed. I don't know what's in those things, but I do notice with people and kids too. It's like if you start giving them a treat, they kind of start expecting to get that all the time. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe in those kind of incentives. I believe that you should have your own pride and your own system inside of you that says, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to have a glass of water. I'm going to do this and I'm going to have myself some lunch. I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop until I'm finished. And when I'm finished, then I'll treat myself to half an hour of reading a book or watching a movie or whatever. But, to and if you reach a really big goal, like you saved up for a house, it'd be cool if you could save an extra couple thousand and treat yourself to a vacation. When I paid off that property, it took 2 years. I told myself that I would go for a nice dinner. Me and Yao were supposed to go, but we never had a chance to. I wish we would have celebrated that because he'd be the one I would want to celebrate that with. He was always telling me to be an achiever and, like set goals and you can do this. Yeah, he's in my mind a lot when I'm doing things because he's always. Well, we're both old school, so we're raised in different ways than people are today. I don't know. We had values, and I guess we followed the golden book or something. But I pick on a lot of that stuff, but there are some really good foundations in those books, those old texts. And if you figure out those golden nuggets, then you can. There's things about. There's things like basic ways of being that can really help you. That's why You don't need to be strung along. I remember once in my life, I felt like I was, well, there was always, I'm not a person to be strung along there was, okay, this, I guess it's hard for me to talk about because it bothered me. But back in the day, I wanted to ride a bike, and it seemed like, well, if you do this, then you'll get to ride a bike, and I'll help you get on the road, and I'll teach you, or whatever. And that I kept doing all those things, and it never came. And I felt like I was being used and taken advantage of. But, you know, when you want something bad enough, and I always called him the carrot man, because he was always stringing me along with a carrot. You don't need to do that. You know what I did? 10 years ago or more. Yeah, I think it was 10 years ago. I think more. I moved here, and the first thing I did was I built myself, I started doing drawings. And this is why a journal is really important. If you draw your dreams, they seem to come true a lot faster, I find. I never really knew this before, but here's some of my drawings. So I started drawing myself on a bike, and I put together, well, this one up here. Yeah, this one here especially is where I made my plan to take my course for riding. Actually, this one here, the white one, the white bike. The white bike with the wings is my meditation. I ride a bike off a cliff, actually, in my meditations. And then I go into another world and create my dreams in my other world. Actually, I have a whole, in my I'm so insane that I've actually created another planet of my own. It's 10 kilometers big, and I've designed it for my future to live there, and it's pretty cool. But who knows? I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know what's possible, but my inner being said that's what it wanted, and so when I meditate, I go there and I'm building my little world. But I don't know why I do that, but I do. When I was trying to get this dream of mine to ride a bike, I just started drawing and doing and saying, the hell with people and the hell with that. I'm tired of this bullshit of promises. And I remember them as a kid too. When I was a little, I wanted a bicycle. Same thing, you know. I couldn't, I can't believe it when I think about it. I wanted a bicycle for a two-wheeler. I had a tricycle when I was little for so long. Everyone else had two-wheelers, and I was going into the tricycle for who knows how long. It was ridiculous, my parents thinking that a tricycle is the way to go when you're like a 3-year-old or a grade 2 or whatever. No, I want to, then they stopped my progress, and I was a good kid. I worked hard, brought in firewood, did all kinds of stuff. It's like, why do these kids, city kids, they don't do half that stuff, friends that we knew, how come I can't have a bike? So the reward system isn't fair. And you got to get out of the gold star program. But getting back to the bike, yeah, I did a lot of hard work for someone, and I was treated not so great, and I never did get that red Honda on the road. He even got tires for it, and it was just I didn't like the limiting. I didn't like it. Put a limit on me, and I'm going to become your worst enemy. I am very rebellious, um, and I'm very good uh, as a being. I'm kind, loving, but as soon as someone puts restrictions on me, or I don't know how to explain it, it's just, or tells me, or makes an assumption, or tells me something that isn't true, or I don't know how to explain that, but it just, even though it's small or barely said, it burns away at me. I guess because of the way I was brought up and things that criticism. Oh man. Um. So it's like I always got something to prove, or I'm not gonna put up with the bullshit. I don't know how to explain that. I feel it in my heart, and I know that it's deep. It's another thing that I have to work on, because if something triggers your heart feelings, or brings tears to your eyes, or a lump in your throat, then you know how you have something that you have to work on. And that is probably holding you back from your goals too, and your dreams, and your manifestations. So that's why it's good to explore some of this stuff. But that bike situation, when I moved here, I went through a year of hell of fixing myself and building my confidence. And then I started journaling myself to health, to healthy mind, healthy being. And then I started drawing myself on a bike, thinking about what it would be like to ride a bike. I really got into it. I've started, I used it for astral. I used it for how I would do in the riding course. I imagined getting my license. I imagined every step, and it's easy too, because I'd gone through the car driving process, but I was afraid of because I don't like being watched, and that makes me nervous. Riding a bike for me is difficult. That's why I just ride the back roads and go get the gas in a jerry can. I don't know how. I have to push myself someday. I don't really want to ride anymore. I want to get a Jeep, but I still have some fears to accomplish, and I was gonna sell my 440, because what's the point? And I could use the money for some other stuff, but I hang on to it because who knows if I want to ride again. And it took me a while to get that bike. Like, you know what you have to keep in mind is that it's the journey. They're really true about that. It's the process and the journey. Because now that bike sits there, now my property sits there, you have to set a goal further. Like, right now I'm not that motivated to build a house. I want a house, but there's other things that I want to accomplish before that. And I'm not even, see, the problem too was I wanted my twin on that land. So that, with that story, my twin was a real push to get that land. And yeah, but I know I don't need, I told myself I didn't need a person, but I imagined a whole kingdom and a whole, and then and the year after the person had left, and I got the property. This is the only thing that kept me from collapsing from that breakup. It was a delusion, I guess. But I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. But I created an illusion. And I really thought he would come back. But he didn't. But it's okay. So, and he has other things to do, big things, and I want him to do those. But the thing is, now I have to I have to have something in my heart that is so strong. And that was the strongest thing in my heart ever. But if you have something in your heart so strong, that's what's going to get you to your dream, or to get you to do anything. This is your star. Your heart is your star. And, you know, this to say that on your heartstring is your tether to, and sometimes you want to break away. But and pull actually what you want to do is do the alchemy. Pull your star, all your chakras, all your and you can get really lost once you do this, because but you pull it all in, make yourself one, pull that star down, bring it into your heart, align all your chakras, make everything one, and all your fractals, you have to line up. Supposedly there's other versions of you in different places, and when you're meditating and visioning, you have to bring all those into alignment and get those. I always think there's the round table. I don't know. I have 12 characters that I sit with and counsel in my visions, and I create a table in the sky, and I talk to them all. They all have different personalities. They're like different characters of me, all the things I want to do. One even plays the cello. Someday I need to tap into that person and learn to play my cello. So you pull all those together. They can be your advisors. You can make them up. One helped me when I worked at the resort, and a spirit of the resort. I always it's like they were always talking to me and guiding me, and it could just be a part of me. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It worked, and it was good, and I never questioned it. I not deeply. I go, what? like sometimes, like my videos sometimes today was make a video about going beyond the gold. Go beyond the give a dog a bone. Don't be satisfied with the bone. Get the steak. Don't be satisfied with the scraps. Don't settle. Don't just take the first guy that comes along, pays you attention, or the first girl. Get a vision in your mind of who that person that you want to come in is. And some things like the bicycle, you don't mind being handed down a second, hand you down, and be grateful, because the universe does these things, puts them in place for a reason. Sometimes you need the second-hand thing to get a love and liking for it, so you want to get something down the road. A little bicycle might make you want to get a Harley when you get older. So it gives you that stepstone, because it knows what you want, and it'll throw something in your way. Maybe you want to become a chef. It'll throw some old pots and pans from somebody into your vicinity, and you can start cooking with that. But then all of a sudden you start dreaming that you want a really nice kitchen, and really nice pots and pans, and really nice knives, and a nice rack to hang them on. And it goes from there. There's reasons for everything, and everything has its timing, but the rhythm is in your heart, and that's the meter reader, and it has to have some feelings, and the right kind. You can't be feeling sorry for yourself and whining. You have to romance it. have a passion. Love it. Like when you hold a little kitten in your arm. Remember when you got your first little kitten? Oh, how much you wanted one, and when you first saw a kitten, and you wanted one of your own, and you just love it. If something happens, you protect it, and you make sure nothing happens to it. Get emotional, but it's like children. I'm not so much that way, but there are ladies who want a baby so bad, and they're really good mothers. And you know, manifesting a gestation, you know, you have to want your dream and call it your baby. You gotta want it so bad. Imagine it. I mean, when I had my children, I imagined what they were gonna look like. I knew what they were gonna be. It's really strange. And they turned out that way. They looked like what I imagined. So it works with everything. So I don't know how this stuff all works, but I do know everything that I've imagined and everything that I've put strongly in my heart with love has happened. But I will also say, things you worry about, there are no accidents. I don't believe there are. Things you worry about, things you get anxiety about, things you get worked up and worry, it has the same energy and charge as the other side that I just explained. And tears, see that tear there? That has memory. And you want to cry for your manifestation. There's something about it. You have to want it that bad. Like when I wanted my twin, my property, yeah, that's why I can't really doubt my twin, because I remember pulling that in my heart so strong. I remember even crying for my daughter so hard to take the poison out of her body and help her. I purged myself in that process. And I could feel it all pulling out of my heart. And that was a grieving. And that was a really strong, powerful manifestation of healing. And then the other ones, the happy crying, the happy tears, those are good to make your, you have, and they don't cut, you can't, well, I don't know if people can act those, but if you're really feeling your emotions, I mean, even men, a tear will come to their eye. Sometimes I have that gift to bring that to people, to pull things out of them, and to the point where they will create a tear. And I'll make sure that the conversation is good and about what they want, so that will occur and bring their dreams quicker to them. And that is part of your journaling process. Journaling starts to pull it, get you close to your feelings. And that's why it's best to write about your prophecy. Imagine yourself with the senses so strong that
that you feel to the point where you have joyful tears, or you may have releasing tears, um, to finally release yourself of that burden, that rope, that that chain. Release that. Tears are good for that. And I watched a video of my friend Carrie. And she's so good at what she does and is. I've never met anyone more authentic. And I had made playlists of her stuff and sent it to another really good friend of mine to watch. And Carrie did a knot video, and that was, I've never seen it done that way. Usually I see the knot video done for other things, but this releasing knot video with this key to a door and getting rid of the key, throwing it away, was really good. And if you put, the thing about spells and rituals, if you put your heart into it and use physical, that's the thing. You're doing it mentally, but you're also doing it physically, and it helps you pull the two together, getting between the worlds, and really believing that you're letting go of these things that are holding you down, or really attaching yourself to the dream. So the journal, when you're sketching and drawing, and then if that's the closest you can do to that, like say you want a trip to Europe, the only way you can do it is really go find pictures and create a dream board or something. But if it's a car you want or a house you want, and you have the opportunity to go and sit in it, take it for a test drive, or find one that's close to what you want and do a tour of it, touch the walls and the floor. The more you can get the textiles and the senses and your real feeling of how you would relax in that house and how you would do projects in that house, and imagine yourself painting it, and imagine your first dinner party and how you would invite your closest friends, and the beautiful night you would have together, and the barbecues you would have in the backyard, and imagining so many things that can, but imagining them not just as you do when you read a story, but where, like, you can imagine, just to get an understanding of somebody talking to you, and oh yeah, okay, I understand what you do. There's a safe, neutral imagining that we all do every day. But the manifesting, imagining, envisioning, that goes really heart deep. I mean, it goes so deep that it's going to bring a tear to your eye either way. And it has to go that deep. The universe has to know that you truly want this thing. Otherwise, could you imagine if every imagination came to reality? I mean, some of them do. And you have to watch. The higher you get in levels, the higher you get in vibration. This stuff just comes pretty darn fast. So that's why that you practice neutrality, for your own safety, I guess. And well, I guess you don't have to have safety if you have a good mind, but that's why. And I think money goes with that too. That you have to have a discipline, and you have to know how to control your mind and everything, or anyone who comes into money who doesn't have a discipline will lose it just as fast as they got it. So practice training yourself for your future higher levels and for your future manifestations. It is really all up here first. somehow it finds a way. If you want it bad enough, it's going to present itself. And then when it presents itself, you have to shift to, oh, there's what I want, exactly what I want. If you can get that, it's attainable. Then you have to do another manifestation on how of how much you want to get in that driver's seat, and start allowing your mind to see different ways of doing it, and leaving some room for surprises, because once you in a little bit of fantasy, and then you have to let it go. You have to say, well, whether that's there or not, I know I've built enough desire in my heart. I've cried over it. I want it. And you let go. It works like that even in love relationships. The more you fight, the more resistance. On the day that you just throw the towel in and say, fuck it, and cry, and just say, you know what, I accept this. I'm going to let it go. I love this person, but I'm going to let it go. And usually, if that relationship's meant to be, it'll return. You don't know when. It has its own timing, but it has a very good likelihood of returning if you're sincere. And if the other person, if you can't always know, with people's hard. Material things, that's nothing. That's a piece of cake. People is difficult. But if that person, you don't know that person's intentions, and you don't know their thinking, and you don't know the work they have to do inside. But if it lines up, once it lines up, its timing hits perfectly. And then if that person's no longer meant to be for you, or, you know, sometimes we fall into relationships in a low vibration. You should never get involved with anybody if you're in a low, because you're not vibrating at your true resonance. Your resonance has to be, you have to be at your best, or your most normal best. If you're too high too, and you can't maintain it, then you might let down the person that you match up with, who's at that resonance, and then when you drop. But if you are always being your positive, true, authentic, genuine being's energy self, you're always going to attract people you're meant to be with, in that energy range. And yeah, so if you're not meant to be with that person, or the universe has other plans for you, then once you let go, something else will come in your path, and it'll be better than you expected. Sometimes if you were with the wrong person in the past, you'll forget you were even with that person. But if you were in your soul group and you were working through people that you were always supposed to be with, each love is a different kind of love, and a different kind of feeling. You don't forget them, and they're always connected to you. There's always, you can never stop loving the true people in your soul group. Not that anyone else is less, but the ones you were meant to work with, they're always going to be in your heart. And no matter what is said or done, they're always there and felt. People call them cords. You can cut cords, but there are certain cords I don't think you can cut. Not your soul family. You can distance people, put up shields, but certain ones, they're part of your group, I guess. I could be wrong, but I only know what I know, or And then I want to know what I don't know. That's all I want to. I want to keep going every day to figure out more, work through it. But the only way to, you can only think and dream and sketch and plan to down to a T until the day that you get nudged or urged, and then you have to take a step of action. A step of action isn't very big. A step of action is not as hard as people think. It could be as simple as picking up your phone and calling about that house, that car, that job, making a connection of some kind. Just a call. Mailing out a letter, or taking a drive and going to look at it. Who cares if you don't have a penny in your bank account? That actually, it is good to have a penny. Carry a penny. Any money has the same vibration, no matter if it's millions or a penny, or isn't it funny, they got rid of pennies and they're copper, and copper is electricity. Yeah, I always thought they had penny loafers. Do you remember the penny loafers? And you stick a penny in your penny loafers, you get your blue suede shoes, Elvis. But this is my talking for today. I'm sure that's sufficient. But go beyond the gold star, and you set your reward system, and you can have your dreams. And believing isn't enough. You have to go beyond belief in your heart, in your vision, in your feeling, emotion, all your senses. It has to be so fucking real that you almost the dream, you know how you wake up from a dream saying that was so fucking real, I can't believe it. I really thought I was there. I really thought I was there. If I didn't wake up, I wouldn't know the difference. That's where you gotta take it, to that place. Anyways, have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching. I'm sorry about the tears, but it was it's real. Be real. It's all we are meant to be here, to be ourselves, and to grow, and to experience. And you can play and have fun in this theater, but the real growth is in being real and growing yourself. And you can grow in different skills and make them part of yours, but always be real through this, your heart. You are a star. Okay. Yeah, and you can take that farther. You can imagine yourself as a star of all the elements, with your fire, your water, your air, fire in your heart, and your root chakra, your passion, your lust, in the ground you stand on, firm, your body, whatever you want to make these elements, and your imaginary world. There are many examples, analogies. Everything's an analogy. The old book is an analogy of your body, your being, planetary energies, nature, science. It's a science lab. You make a hypothesis of how you predict your experiment's going to turn out. And it's how strongly you feel that can affect the experiment. That's why, too, sometimes you don't share your dreams with people that you know are negative or naysayers. You share your deepest dreams with people you trust and love, because they're going to wish that for you. And even those people can accidentally have a thought that isn't good. So who knows? That's why you want to keep something secret to yourself. Hidden secrets that are so powerful. It builds up to the point. I'm going to joke around and say like an orgasm. Builds up to the point. And then you want to hold it. Because once you get your dream, oh, right, getting back to my bike and land, um, it was the funnest striving for it. Now they're sitting there. I should be out riding my bike. I should be on my land doing something. But now I've created a new situation where I got gravel. I can't go back to that land until I pay the gravel off. And I need to exercise and get some body strength before I go on my bike, where I'll feel better. And you can make little rules for yourself to push yourself a little further beyond the gold star. You get the gold star, you do the alchemy, you get to the level, but you gotta keep going further, or you're gonna fall back down. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about. I just know it resonates inside me. I read stuff in the books and I can correlate it to my life experiences, but I only know what I really know inside of what I've really experienced, and those have been my experiences. Whoa. Okay. Thank you for being there for me in this moment of sharing something I wanted to talk about. And I didn't realize I was going to cry, but shit happens. And it's good shit. See ya.